Yo, what up, Lucid Crew? Welcome back to the channel. I am Lucid Rob, and today we're gonna look at videos from all over the internet that you send me, that I look for, that I come across randomly. And if it's just so outlandish that we just can't understand why somebody would believe that this is real, we're gonna try to put ourselves in their shoes and figure out why. What the? Also, I had someone comment yesterday on a video about my intro saying, Lucid Rob, give me a break, give it up, man. And I'm like, bro, why would I stop? Why would I stop calling my YouTube family the Lucid Crew when I was able to amass 27,000 subscribers in 2 years? You mad? Don't be a hater. Don't be mad that you haven't done anything with your life and you're mad at me because I'm doing what I love and people are enjoying it. So without further ado,
I keep seeing videos about how our timelines are all messed up, like how I didn't know that woolly mammoths were around at the same time that the pyramids were being built. But there's actually so many other weird overlaps that are blowing my mind. And before we dive in, if you love the spooky and dark, you'll love the podcast. Like how Dali died the same year that Daniel Radcliffe was born. And even weirder, Eminem and Picasso were alive at the same time for 2 years. Rosa Parks lived long enough to be able to see the first 2 Shrek movies in theaters. And let's not forget that in her lifetime, she actually sued the band Outkast. When the Declaration of Independence was being signed, no one knew that dinosaurs even existed. Like, dinosaurs had actually not been discovered yet. And let's not forget that Cleopatra was born closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the actual pyramids being built. This one sounds fake, but is totally real. The last person to collect a pension from the Civil War died the year that Obama took office. And finally, the oldest tree alive today was around at the time of woolly mammoths. And not only that, but when the last woolly mammoth died, this tree was already 1,000 years old.
Okay, before I react to this video, I just want to pull it back and I said something kind of harsh to a random viewer before I watched this video. And I just want to take this time to apologize to fucking no one! But, sorry guys, I'm in a really weird mood right now. This perspective is crazy though. I know I had seen something at some point in the past, probably like 3 years or something like that, that kind of threw me for a loop, for a loop. And it said that we are closer right now in 2025 to the birth of Jesus than Jesus was to the construction of the pyramids. But yeah, man, I think things move so quickly nowadays that it's just like really perspective is just nuts.
Casted worldwide, 4 witnesses. They just confirmed aliens are from our oceans and they have proof of it. In the oversight committee hearing that was broadcasted worldwide, 4 witnesses, including a retired Navy commander, confirmed to Congress that non-human higher intelligence exists and we're in possession of their technology. They said we have UAP material and bioorganic material, and so does every other country, and behind closed doors, they're all in a race trying to reverse engineer the technology that they have. They said they have video evidence of them appearing from the oceans all across the world, and they've been here much longer than us. We've seen the UAPs move and react so quickly, and based on their technology, they believe they're being controlled by a mind-body connection. They said that some of these beings appear to be interdimensional and that a human can withstand up to 9 Gs of force before suffering fatal consequences, but the technology they're working on is producing upwards of 3,000 Gs. That this is only the tip of the iceberg compared to what the government is not telling us.
Yeah, dude, that is fucking crazy. I mean, we've known about that for a while though, right? Like the USOs, like there have been, if you've been following stuff for any amount of time, let's say just even within the past like 10 years, that there have been reports of them going into the ocean, popping out of the ocean and whatnot. And it doesn't surprise me at all, but I say this every time there's a UFO video with Congress or anybody talking, and I hope it's real. I hope it's real because, I'm saying it again, I think we have a better chance of surviving the 50-50 chance of aliens wanting to harm us than we are the 100% chance of Project Bluebeam being the case with these videos and the outcome of what that creates in the world, right? Like Project Bluebeam, 100% bad for all of us. Aliens, 50-50 chance that they might not vaporize us and enslave us. But I guess we'll have to see.
2003, the world watched as American forces rolled into Iraq. Officially, it was about weapons of mass destruction, about preventing terrorism, about democracy. But what if that wasn't the whole story? What if buried beneath the ruins of ancient Mesopotamia, beneath the cradle of civilization itself, was something far more dangerous? Dr. Michael Salla, was one of the first to suggest that the Iraq War may have had another hidden objective: to gain control over an ancient stargate. The idea seems ripped from science fiction. Salah's theory draws on ancient Sumerian texts, Babylonian myths, and declassified government testimony from whistleblowers who claim the U.S. military has long been aware of portal technology left behind by non-human intelligences. According to these accounts, Iraq was once the domain of the Anunnaki, extraterrestrial beings who either created or heavily influenced early human civilization. The site in question? Uruk, one of the first major cities in human history. Some claim the U.S. invasion targeted the ancient city of Ur, the ziggurat of Ur, and even the museum in Baghdad, which was looted within days of the invasion. Among the stolen or seized artifacts were tablets, cylinder seals, and relics inscribed with strange symbology, many tied directly to the myths of the Anunnaki and the gates of the gods. Multiple independent sources, some cited by Salah, others echoed in classified testimony and even remote viewing sessions, claim the U.S. military secured a buried device beneath Iraqi soil, a portal, a stargate said to be dormant but recoverable, a device that allowed travel between worlds or dimensions. According to Salah and those aligned with this theory, the U.S. government feared that Saddam Hussein had either discovered this artifact or was attempting to activate it. Hussein was obsessed with Babylonian grandeur. He even rebuilt the ancient city's Ishtar Gate.
All right, so there's got to be some truth here to all this, because we know that Adolf was looking for ancient relics and technology, and he was like obsessed with it. Saddam, clearly the same thing. So history is written by the victors, right? We know this. We know that there's no way of ever knowing the actual truth from the past due to the people that wrote the records, based off of the actions and the situations that they had the upper hand and the ability to actually be alive to share, right? Aside from like philosophers and whatnot, but even that, who knows? So, dude, have all the great wars just really been about fighting over ancient tech? Like, it's so insane to me. It's such a crazy thought, but I'm kind of thinking so.
Apparently our moon was brought here 11,213 years ago. To be exact, in the month of March. What we know is the month of March. It came here as a base, okay? As a ship carrying ETs. They were coming here to colonize. They did in fact colonize. In fact, many of what's left of them are living underground in our planet from 100 miles to 200 miles beneath the surface.
Tell you, man, ever since the Y-Files made that video about the hollow moon, that is my favorite theory. It is one that I believe 99%. I think it's the one that I am the most sure of, the most positive being true, which is pretty wild when you think about that. It's pretty crazy that like no other planet has a moon quite like ours. And maybe that's why we're the only planet that supposedly has life. Like, if it is true that we're the only planet that can host intelligent life, maybe that's why. Maybe it's because we're the only planet that has a moon that allows the Earth to function the way that it does. I don't know. But seeing all these images of things on the moon, people saying there's things on the far side of the moon landing looks so fucking fake. The crater with the glowing blue light that just sporadically glows blue. Videos of things flying across the surface of the moon, the face on the moon, the rocks that look like they're being drug like across and like moving, like basically the trail, like the drag marks from giant things being moved across the surface of the moon and leaving like lines in the sand. It's insane, dude. I don't know. What do you think about this? Like, what do you think about the moon? I don't think I've ever really asked you guys how you feel about this. Like, let me know down in the comments and I will read them, because I'm curious if I'm the only one that is like, yep, that shit's fucking real, bro. Real as fuck.
What if I told you the true meaning of Satan is the god of this world has nothing to do with a pitchfork-wielding demon and has everything to do with Father Time? You see, before there was Satan of the Bible, there was Saturn, Kronos, and the early Hebrew Hasatan, the accuser. You see, Saturn offers a six-sided principle and solution to organizing chaos. It is the so-called sixth planet of our solar system, which is marked by a hexagon at its north pole. Saturn is the material governor, entrapping the soul in the illusion of time, flesh, matter, and the corporeal realm. The Seal of Solomon, also known as the Star of David, is said to overcome these forces because it encompasses the principle of as above, so below. Even Jesus himself taught this principle when he said, "Father, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." He was reminding us to use mind over matter. This is also where we get our 666 principle from, the number of the beast, which is the number of man, and the molecular structure of carbon, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons, which gives new meaning to the beast system of the book of Revelation. So next time you hear Satan is the god of this world, remember Jesus taught us to use the third eye. If thine eye be single, the whole body is full of light.
Yeah, I mean, in Luciferianism, it basically talks about, well, from what I understand anyway, theistic Luciferianism, not atheistic Luciferianism. And not like Luciferianism where, like, you know, how people say like celebrities are Luciferians and they're like sucking energy out of people and doing all this bad shit. Like, there's nothing that I've read, like, outside of like the media and propaganda and conspiracy theory videos and stuff like that. Like, looking into Luciferianism, there's nothing that, this is what I don't get, man. There's nothing that really says do bad shit to people. It basically, from what I understand from looking into it, it says, and correct me if I'm wrong, if there are anybody that knows more than I do, like not somebody who's just like, oh, it's bad, blah, I saw videos, but like somebody who actually like studies the shit, like more than I do. Basically that Lucifer is the correct god, I guess, of Earth, and that the Judeo-Christian god is the bad god. Or not a bad god, but a different god. There are many gods, and basically the deceiver would be the Judeo-Christian God, which kind of makes you think too, like, let's just put this in perspective. Let's say, you know, people pray to Jesus, people pray to, you know, God, the God of heaven, and things don't necessarily come true, right? They're like, you know, you prayed, it happened, thank you God. You pray, it didn't happen, it's not in the books, it's not my cards. So if a celebrity or something, you know, sells their soul, quote unquote, whatever, or is worshiping Lucifer or Satan or whatever the fuck you want to call him, and they pray for something like fame or riches or something, and it actually comes true, like, wouldn't that kind of make sense though? Like, you know, what if he's actually able to grant those wishes and grant those prayers because this is his domain, right? He has the power to do that here. Playing devil's advocate, pun intended here, and trying to just figure out, like, I don't know, man. There's nothing that I've seen that is like bad about things that are supposedly bad. Like Norse mythology, it's bad because it's not Christian. Nothing bad about it. And for anybody new to the channel, I am not a Christian, clearly, or I wouldn't be reading about all this stuff. I'm not really anything. I think there's something that created everything, and I don't know what to call that. I don't know what I want to call it. I'm a semi-spiritual person, I guess. Like, when I do pray, I'm just like, I don't know, it's kind of like I'm talking to myself, right? But I don't know, man. Let me know what you think about this. Everyone is so scared to talk about this kind of shit. I feel like all the other conspiracy channels that I've seen anyway are just very like biased in the sense when it comes to religious stuff. Like, they're afraid to really like break the stuff down and try to like see things from the other side. And I don't. I'm not afraid of going to heaven or hell or wherever, so I want to fucking talk about it. So let me know what you think down below. And no, for you crazy people that are going to comment, I'm not trying to make you a Satanist. I'm not trying to glorify Satanism. I'm trying to understand. That's what we do here. We try to understand shit. So if you're offended, that's your fucking problem, not mine. There should be nothing offensive about trying to learn more. All right, so this shit's getting harder and harder to do because AI is getting so fucking good. I don't know if something is real. I don't know if it's CGI. I don't know if it's AI created. I don't know. But I know that there are videos that existed before AI got to the point to where us as the consumers and normal people can actually use it to create videos like this. And even I think before maybe special effects were where they were in a place to where like normal people could do this shit. I don't know, but I know there are videos from, I think one specific with crop circles being created by like orbs flying around it and shit. So I would not put it past as being a real video. I don't know though. I think unless they zoomed in on the Ring camera to like get this like focal point perfect for this crop circle, because it's just framed perfectly, I think it's probably fake. It's probably bullshit, because like what are the chances of a crop circle happening that is just big enough? Like if this screen, let's look at the screen. I get my dimensions here all messed up because the camera's reversed. If something just appeared right here randomly between my hands here, right, like a globe or like an orb or something, the chances of that being fake would be pretty high. Because like what are the chances of this entire apartment, this entire neighborhood, this entire city that I'm in right now, that appearing right there perfectly within frame, right? So I don't think this one's true. I don't know. Obviously I don't fucking know anything for sure here. That's what we're just kind of speculating on all this stuff for fun, entertainment purposes only. Guy in the van outside listening, don't hurt me. But I don't know. Let me know what you think about this one. I'm not sure. Probably fucking fake though, right? Right? Am I wrong to think that?
Something unbelievable is happening with the interstellar object called 3I Atlas. This city-sized traveler is racing toward our solar system, and scientists just discovered it is giving off pure nickel gas without any iron. To us that might sound small, but in space, nickel and iron always travel together like twins. This is the first time ever we have seen nickel by itself, and the pattern looks more like what you would expect from a factory than from a natural space rock. And that is on top of all the other strange things about this object. It is made of mostly carbon dioxide instead of water. It is shooting out cyanide gas in huge bursts, and it is flying perfectly in line with our solar system. Nothing about this makes sense. That is why scientists are calling it one of the strangest visitors we have ever seen, and all eyes are now on late October 2025, when it passes behind the sun, to find out if it is just a bizarre comet or something completely new.
It's just methane. It's just completely projected by alien farts. That's all it is. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be methane. How do they know what it is made of? How do they know? Is it the color? Is it the color of things? I know that's how they basically gauge different planets, like the hue of it or the color, the light reflecting off it from the sun or whatnot. I know that I mean, it's got to be visual, because we haven't sent any probes out there. We wouldn't be able to, right, to like test it. So it's got to be visual. So there's a good chance that the color is off. I mean, I know that the people doing this assume you think this is true and NASA's true and all that stuff for the sake of argument here. They know what they're doing, right? They understand this isn't new to them per se, outside of this specific scenario with this Atlas 3 or whatever. But like, what are the chances of the color just being a little off, right? Or them like not understanding? If it comes from somewhere else, it could be completely composed of something that we're completely unaware of. So they could be wrong completely about it. I don't know. I want to know. I hope it comes by soon. I hope it comes by really fucking close so we can get that shit on camera without it crashing into the earth, because that would be probably not great.
Something is going on. Like, I don't know, but I think that we shifted into another dimension. Now, listen to this. So I was looking at a world map today, and I'm like, wait a second. Like, all these countries are completely in a different place. Like, look at where South America is. South America has always been under North America, and now it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Look at New Zealand. Look at some of these other islands and where they are. You can't tell me that this map wasn't different 5 years ago. Okay, so I started going down the rabbit hole, and I looked at Home Depot, right? I go there all the time. I was there a couple weeks ago, except it's not called Home Depot. It's called the Home Depot. Yeah, there's a the in front of the Home Depot. King Tut, right? We all learned about him in school, and we've seen that famous mask, right? That's solid gold that he wears. What's on the top of it? A giant cobra. Nope, there isn't one. Okay, there is a cobra, but it's to the right, and there's also another vulture on the other side. It's completely different. Think about Scary Movie 2. My favorite line to say is, "Take my strong hand." Except he never says that. Now he says, "Take my hand." If you don't believe me, look it up for yourself. Like, something is going on. We've shifted into another dimension.
So I'm pretty sure that the strong hand thing is a misconception. I remember saying strong hand, take my strong hand. It was a big joke you know, kind of like the Marilyn Manson taking his ribs out so he could suck his own dick thing. Hearsay, whatever. We just kind of went with it. But I think I saw something recently to where it actually said, take my hand. My other hand's not strong enough or something like that. So I think we made the association that, you know, take my strong hand. King Tut, I think I do remember him only having a cobra, but that could also be how he's like drawn and like presented in like other media, like cartoons and drawings and whatnot. So that could be chalked up to just people misremembering, assuming it was another way because we've seen it another way so many other times because we see it literally everywhere else in other mediums and drawings and TV and stuff more than we actually see the mask that he wore on his sarcophagus. The Home Depot, I think that just comes from how people, like what people call it probably. Hey, let's go to Home Depot. No one's going to be like, hey, let's go to the Home Depot. Yo, Ned, let's go to the Home Depot. Like, nobody fucking just says that, right? It's like, let's go to the Burger King. Let's go to the McDonald's. Let's go to the corner to get some blow off one of those pimps out there with a feather in his hat and the crushed velvet suit. And no one just says that, so it's probably from that. Not saying I don't believe in the Mandala effect. There's shit like Fruit of the Loom. I definitely remember cornucopia, things like that. So in these senses, I don't know. I think I remember them the way that they're shown in this video, but I can't be 100%. I guess I'm not sure.
I don't believe it's a UFO cover-up. I believe that it's a time travel cover-up. My father, we had the documents. We don't have them anymore on the Philadelphia experiment. Einstein worked on it. My father did reveal that. And I just don't believe, I have said at a very important meeting about time travel. They wanted to know what my father knew and such like that. I have stated my issues, that there is no future and there is no past. There's only now. And the way that I think of it is very simple. As a computer, there are icons. You know your birth, you know your mother, and you know your birthdays, you know when your child was born, and each one is a picture within the brain. Well, the way that time works is those icons are sideways. There is no future, there is no past. There's only the memory of those icons. And can you draw from them as a human being? Yes, you can. But there are those that cannot do that. So if the ET would land here, he would have that ability, and it would segregate our society. See, there are other issues besides religion involved. There's the mental parts that are involved. I don't know if that's hard to follow or what, but these are the type of mind games that need to be played to understand why they do not reveal themselves to the masses.
Going back to what time is, different to what we think. Try to break down what you're just saying there. So
Jesus is dying on the cross right now.
So all past lives, future lives are happening
We are
now.
limited beings. All we can see is when we were born and our timeline to when we die. It's insignificant in relation to the trillions and the universe. It's insignificant. There is no start. If you look at that, it's like Voyager looking back from the edge of our universe, looking back and seeing one single pixel. Is it important? No. Our whole existence is not important into revelation. So why should we measure time? We know we go on after our death. We know we were somewhere before our death. My thinking is that human existence is just a coffee break from eternity. So I know this is deep, but what I'm getting at here is very simple, Kevin. There are other reasons why we don't know. Okay. Some can handle it, some can't.
Okay, so if all time's happening at once, so past and future lives are happening now, right? And present moment is really all we've got. The rest is an illusion, right? Why is that then? When you say that time travel is the real agenda here, not that we've been visited all this other technology out there. Why do you still say that time travel is the real agenda here, though?
Well, time travel is to cover up.
That's a super interesting concept there, and I talked about this too. I saw something, lots of stuff. I don't know if I saw something that specifically said this. I'm sure I did. I've seen so many of these fucking videos. I don't even know if I have an original thought anymore. Something about the tall grays being humans from the future, right? Like there's a cataclysm. There's something that happened to where they had to go underground and live for like ever while the Earth was just doing its thing and recovering or whatnot. And then they essentially, the reason they're humanoid and have like the same like amount of limbs and whatnot that we have is they basically evolved to live under there, right? Like their body mass, their muscle composition. Sorry. Smaller because they're not using their muscles as much because their brains are so big because they're using thought so much because they develop technology to where they don't have to use their body for physical labor as much, and they have machines and maybe fucking telekinesis for all we know, and the big black eyes like marsupials to where they can actually see good at nighttime like a fucking possum, like all these things that kind of lead to that. So then thinking then that they came from the future back here for whatever reason. I saw some other stuff that said basically they're unable to have children, right? So they come back here, and the reason they're doing like anal probes and stealing people to, rip open their ball sacks and whatnot to, fuck, that's graphic. Basically like look at our our reproductive organs to try to figure out how they can, how ours work, so they can then implement that and have kids and save the race and whatnot. So that's the whole theory around that. I'm not sure if I believe it. That's just kind of what I heard. So but that would make sense if these aren't actually coming from outer space and they're coming from the future. Something like that being the case. Not necessarily just that, but something like that, making them come back here to a time to where humans actually understand how those things happen within the body, and we're healthier than we've ever been, except for Americans being obese. Overall, our lifespans are longer than they've ever been, which also, now that I think about it, is kind of scary, because why didn't it go to a time in the future when humans were more evolved and could probably just be like, oh, this is exactly how you do it. Maybe it means that we won't be around that long. Maybe it's not long before that cataclysm that pushed them underground happens. So they had to come here because it's the only time that we were here. That's fucking scary. That's something new that I just thought of right now. And now I'm terrified. So good night. Sleep well with that one. But that's the end of the video, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. Again, it's very exciting. I'm so excited to be back on YouTube after a long break. To all the new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope that you enjoyed your watching. For the people that are just now watching for the first time, if you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, sharing it, do that whole thing that us YouTubers are supposed to ask you to do. And to my longtime OGs, the Lucid crew, thank you so much for sticking around and coming back and still being here for me after my long break. You guys are amazing, each and every one of you, and you make the shit fun. Honestly, this stuff is so much more fun with you guys to talk to and get your feedback and stuff. And yeah, honestly, I'm just super thankful for you, and it's good to be back. So until next time, guys, stay safe, stay vigilant, keep your head on a swivel. The world's getting crazy out there. See you in the next one. Peace.